Let's try synthetic division again. We're going to try it out on example number 2. So, step 1, set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. So, z minus 5 equals 0. Solve it. So, I get z equals 5. Step 2, I'm going to put that number in a little box. And then I'm going to list the coefficients of my numerator. So I've got a 3. Then I have a negative 14. Then I have a negative 7. Then I have a positive 3. That's step 2. Step 3, I'm going to carry the first coefficient all the way down. Step 4, I am going to multiply it to my box number and put it in the next column. So 3 times 5 is 15. Put it in the next column. Step 5, add the column. So negative 14 plus 15 is a positive 1. Step 6, repeat steps 4 and 5 until I run out of columns. So 1 times 5 is 5. That's step 4. Step 5, add them. Negative 7 plus 5 is negative 2. I'm going to repeat it again because I still have columns. So negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. That's step 4. And then step 5, add the columns to get negative 7. Now I'm out of columns, so I'm done with step 6. Step 7 is writing out my answer. So this particular one, look at the numerator, and the biggest exponent the numerator uses is z cubed. But my answer is going to go 1 down, so z squared. So now I'm going to take all of the numbers I got in my answer, and I'm going to start with z squared, because that's what I got here, and then go down. So z squared, so the next one is going to be z to the first. The next one is going to be no z's, z to the 0, and then the last one is my remainder. So if I want to actually write this out, it would be 3z squared plus 1z to the first minus 2 plus, and then I do my remainder in the numerator, what I'm dividing by, z minus 5 in the denominator. And there we go. Okay, I want you to try example number 3 on your own. So pause the video, try out example number 3 following our steps, and then come back and see if you got it right. So when you finish your synthetic division, you should get 3, negative 11, negative 20, and 0. Now let's write out our answer together. If we look, the first one here, the greatest exponent, is an x cubed, but I want to go 1 down, so I'm going to start with x squared. So I list out my numbers. Starting with my x squared, because that's what I got here, and then work my way down. So x squared, x to the first, no x's, and my remainder. So I write out 3x squared minus 11x to the first. I don't really need that first there. Minus 20. Now, I don't have a remainder this time, so I don't need to do the fraction part. So I'm done. That's it. Okay, same thing. Try out example number 6. So pause the video, try example 6 on your own, and then come back and see how you did. Okay, once you've done your synthetic division, you should get 3, 9, 8, 3, negative 2. Now let's write out our answer. Look at the top. The biggest exponent is x to the 4th, but we want 1 down. So we want x cubed. So I'm going to list out my coefficients, 3, 9, 8, 3, negative 2. I'm going to start with my x cubed and go down from there. So x cubed, then x squared, x to the 1st, no x's, and my remainder. So let's write this out. 3x cubed plus 9x squared plus 8x to the 1st, which is just 1, plus 3, and then I have my remainder, 2, divided by what I was dividing by, which is x minus 4. And there you go. Last example that I want to do with all of you is on your assignment number 2. Now, the reason I want to do number 2 is because, like we did with long division, you'll notice this one has a placeholder. None of the other problems we've done so far have needed placeholders, but this one needs a 0x cubed so that we can have x to the 4th, x cubed, x squared, x to the 1st, and then no x's. We need to make sure we keep that placeholder. So we're going to do our same steps. Set what we're dividing by equal to 0 and solve it. Put that in a little box. Then we're going to put our coefficients, but don't forget your 0 coefficient placeholder, or else you'll get the whole thing wrong. So I've got all of my coefficients listed right here with my 0 coefficient placeholder. Bring your first coefficient down, multiply and put in the next column, and then add. Now rinse and repeat, multiply and put in the next column, and then add, multiply and put in the next column, and add, multiply and put in the next column, and add. So I've got all my synthetic done. So now what I need to do is figure out what I need to start with. So this, if I look at the biggest exponent, is x to the 4th, but down 1, so x cubed. So this first one's going to have an x cubed. Then I just go in descending order, x squared, x to the 1st, no x's, and my remainder. Now you may have noticed at this point that if we hadn't put that 0 placeholder in, it would have messed up all our numbers. So make sure you keep those placeholders in there or you'll get everything wrong. Now I write out my final answer, 2x cubed minus 6x squared minus 3x minus 3 plus my remainder of negative 6 divided by what I was dividing by. And there we go. That's it. For your in-class practice, you need to do 3, 4, and 5 on this worksheet, and then you also need to get your Canvas homework done.